Launching and growing a successful food truck is no easy task. It takes great food, great service, and a great marketing strategy, but it also takes a great understanding of your numbers. So in this video, I'm going to give you a high-level view of the numbers that you should master before launching your food truck. Now it all comes down to your sales, your gross profit margin, and your overhead expenses. And as you'll see, there's a whole bunch of levers that we can try to push or pull to impact these numbers. But let's start with sales. For a food truck, I typically think about your sales in two primary categories. Regular daily business, so this would be if you park somewhere for a breakfast, lunch, or dinner crowd on a regular basis. And then there's event-based business, so this would be farmers markets, festivals, catering events, weddings, etc. Now for your regular daily business, I would model sales by determining the number of customers served per day times your average spend per customer. And for events, I would model sales by estimating your average revenue per event times the number of events that you believe you can book each month. So let's dig in a little bit deeper into projecting sales for that regular daily business. So first, I would start by estimating your capacity. Let's say you serve a lunch crowd and you're open and available from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. So that's 2.5 hours or 150 minutes. So the question is, how many customers can you serve if you had a constant stream of customers lined up at your door? Well, maybe your capacity is one order every 2 minutes. If you can work that fast, that means your max capacity for lunch is 75 customers. Now, you know your sales capacity here, but how do we come up with some realistic sales projections? Because you're probably not going to be at full capacity all the time, right? So the way I typically think about building sales projections for a food truck is based on using some advertising and marketing dollars to acquire regular loyal customers that will routinely come back time and time again. So let's say you run a Facebook ad campaign and acquire a new customer for $50. Then some percentage of those customers are going to become regulars. You can then estimate the number of times per month each regular customer will eat at your food truck. Maybe it's once a week. And so then to determine your sales projections, you would just take the number of regular customers that you have times the number of times per month they visit times the amount they spend per order. So according to Priceonomics, the average order at a food truck is between $8 and $12. Now jumping on to gross profit margin. So a typical restaurant, and in this case a food truck, has a food cost of around 30%, which means their average gross profit margin is 70%. So let's say you want to aim for a food cost of 30%. You should calculate exactly how much the ingredients and the cups and lids and plates and straws and napkins and utensils, etc. would cost you for each item that you want to sell. Let's say you want to sell tacos and a single taco costs you 60 cents. In order to have a 30% food cost, you need to sell that taco for $2. So we've talked about sales, gross profit, and now the final piece of the profitability puzzle is really your overhead expenses. And these are expenses like fuel, renting a commissary, salaries and wages, phone and internet, insurance, repairs, and advertising. You'll need to calculate all of your overhead expenses for your specific truck. But according to an article from Food Truck Empire, these overhead expenses seem to range between $8,000 and $20,000. So again, that's a wide range. You need to really go through this process yourself and try to figure out what are these costs going to be for your specific truck. Now, in this example, let's just say this all adds up to $10,000 per month. So now we have all the pieces that we need to figure out exactly what it will take for you to be profitable. And so I'm going to take you back to high school algebra class to help you calculate your break even. To determine when you break even, the calculation will be monthly sales times your gross profit margin minus your overhead expenses equals 0. And why does it equal 0? Because when this equation equals 0, that means you're breaking even. You're not making a profit, but you're not losing any money either. So if you remember from algebra class, in order to calculate how much in sales we need to generate to break even, we can add 10,000 to 0 and then divide by 70%, which is our gross profit margin. And then we'll be left with a sales amount that we need to break even. So in this example, that's $10,000 divided by 70% equals $14,285 in sales required to break even. Now, let's say you go through your sales projection process and you don't think you're going to be able to hit $14,285 in monthly sales. Well, you do have a couple options. You can find ways to reduce your overhead expenses or find ways to increase your gross profit margins, like raising your prices. So there's a crash course on projecting your break-even for your food truck. And now we have a financial projection template built specifically for food trucks that is going to help you lay out all of these costs and sales assumptions to just make this a lot easier for you. So next I'm going to dive into the details of that template and actually show you how to build out your financial projections.